body type, body mechanics. Because originally, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters have always been terrific Niwaza experts, ground fighters. But at the beginning, they were part-timers. I mean, they were men that had jobs, they were jugger blokes, had to work in bank and had to go see the missus, they had to go do this, had to do that. But Olympians were always Olympians. And even if they did that, the nature of an Olympian means you were the top of the cream of the cream, you are the top of the tree to be able to be in the Olympics. So these were always just extreme units. Olympians always were. I mean, you're fighting another genetic lottery winner that wants it as bad as you. And in the beginning, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, yeah, they were only the very top of them that could match it. Whereas now, all them people at world level, especially in the high-end categories, are the equivalent of Olympians. They all look like Olympians. They all look like in Thor, don't they? Or like Odin, you know. And so I think there's becoming a new push of the older, brutal techniques, because some of the moves that I was shown when I was younger, a young man, I remember looking at them thinking, I know loads of blokes that just laugh at you if you do that. They just curl you. They just pick you off mat, carry you out, and just put you back in your car like that. Fuck off. They would, you know, I've got 3 or 4 men that do it. And they didn't believe you at the time, and then they come to England, they were like, Christ, I've never seen power like that in my life. So we've got rooms full of them. These men were in the Olympics, and they're not even in the prime anymore. And I think it's coming back now that you see more of the brutal, original Japanese techniques being done correctly. Because they're the ones that are working, because the men now are the top of the tree genetically, and they're training right, and they're all monsters, and you can't do a spinning, flaming fireball wrist lock on them. It just doesn't work, because they just go, fuck off. And that's simple as that, really. So, as far as I was concerned, I always enjoyed the simple concept. I think I've discussed all this before, I'm not going to bore you. We'll go into an art walk, which I studied from the beginning because it fascinated me as soon as I saw some detail of it. This is, originally this fired up something in my mind from a man called Pablo Silva, who was a black belt from Gordo's. And then we realised that I'm talking about the Udigarami and the reverse version, so it's the Kimura as we call it, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So it's a guy called Udigarami. And it was something the Japanese didn't really look at until they actually come to England, as far as I know. The judo men really, really saw this when they saw the catch wrestlers. So you're looking at this, but what's very interesting about the inverted Udigarami, the Kimura, is that it controls the man's body, whereas most of the locks on the arm literally only attacks the joint that it's locking. But the great thing about that is that even if you're not into actually tapping him out with that, it controls him to attack what you do like tapping him out with. That sounds like a lot of shit, doesn't it? Wait until I get to it today and you'll sort of see where I'm coming from. Because I guarantee that what will happen is, we'll look at the concept of how it works, then I'll try and give you some ideas of possibilities and techniques, and from there you're going to go in completely different directions. Because you'll use for it whatever you like to do. And the directions are quite odd because of the body control. Yeah? And I'll show you that what I find is the greatest entry I've ever seen for it. And it's the only one I could ever make work. And I think it's the highest percentage way of doing it. Can you line your back? We start off like this and we'll overlap like we always did, because that's the way I would talk, to overlap the technique. So you're going to get pissed off with it and you're going to do very, very little, but a lot of it. So by the end you'll really understand it. And I think, hopefully, again, you're going to think that you knew the Kimura, then by the end of 2 hours you realise you didn't. Because that's how I feel about it now. 20 years later, I didn't know it at all. If we start off in a broken, almost like a kami shield, so like a broken north-south. So we're not there, we're not there. We've got one in and one out. You can come a lot closer if you want, we're not hard of the room. So drop on him in the kami shield, the broken kami shield. So I've got, see, it's a broken one. So I have to hold him with the hold down. So the problem is, the first problem is to attack this arm, to get it in position to attack it with an Udigarami, with a Kimura, a reverse Udigarami. And the problem comes when I have to use my arms, because to use my arms I need to kneel down. And it's in that phase that it's lost, and I don't see this part being shown a lot anymore. And I think it's a vital part, because you'll not be in the next part of the move at all. So this bit makes enough sense. Look, you'll pass your collar into your hand and tighten this up. I'm going to bore you with some stuff here for a while until you've got what I'm on about, then you're going to repeat the shit out and we can really get on with it. Because now my arm's done this, remember that his defence is always going to want to be to put his arm down and his shoulder down. So if he's like that, he'll just do this. And if he's like that, let's grab him halfway. If he's like this, he's going to do this. Put his shoulder down. So I've got to stop that happening. So he is flat. So that there, look. I've got the point of my elbow on the floor. So he can't pull his arm through that gap. It's impossible. Because he'd have to get his arm lower than my forearm, and he can't. It's there. So the weight's on my elbow. So if I bring my right knee up, it allows me to put this forearm in his chest. So now I can transfer the weight from that to this. Because it allows me to put my other knee up while still lifting his arm to a point where he can't get it out. There. It's lifted it up. And it allows me to put this hand under my armpit and put my fingers in the nose behind my elbow. Because he doesn't want this to come off his head. Because he knows if it comes like that, sorry, across my head, he knows if it comes like that, then I'm going to start attacking it, I'll probably take it over me. And he also wants to get this down and his shoulder down. So my job is to put him slightly on his side. That's the position. Once I grab here, to just pull this way won't be sufficient. It needs to be done with my left hip. So I'll turn it, because he's going to be wanting to turn back this way and pull his elbow down. I have to turn him this, you feel that? Very heavy. I'll turn him with my hip. Once I get into this position, I can pull this hand out, put the grip in place, and nail back over his head. So if we just do that and stop there, don't worry about any of this yet. That's a very important aspect for it, because he's going to be wanting to spin out. Do you understand the spin out angle? Yeah, so if I do this on your hand, even if I do this, you hold this, and spin that way, and there. That's how he's going to get his arm out. So I've got to prevent that elbow coming down and the hips turning the other way. I want to stop this happening. I've got to stop this coming down. The hardest part to the entry is that, because he's going to be fighting. So that stops it there. Look. This knee comes up. This one can come across, which allows me to lean there now, not here, to lift up onto my other knee, which allows me to pull that up. You following? Yeah? So I can go that, and that's not enough, because he'll be able to pull that down and use his hips. I'm not going to hold that. I can't. And even there, I still won't. I have to do this. But I can't lay it here because I've used all the torque in my body. You spin your knees that way and spin back the other way, you'll get it out. There you go. So immediately I have to lock my hands on. And we stop opposite his head. So you're going to do that. We get to there and we stop. We can do that and we'll advance that even more and you get more used to what that's doing. Okay? We start doing that, or do you?